Like to call the meeting to order, the City of Monona Transit Commission, Wednesday, August 10th. Mark, I assume you have the roll.
Yeah,
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting, or do we have minutes from the last meeting since we didn't have a quorum?
correct. There wasn't a quorum.
Okay. So, it looks like there's nobody here to appear. So we'll move past the appearances, and then next up would be business for tonight's meeting. Mark, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, so the first thing is kind of the ridership report. Just kind of want to give an update on that. So I think the last one you might have saw was from through March or through April. So May, June, and July. If you kind of look at the Express, the numbers are down compared to last year. Overall, we're up compared to last year. A lot of this just because of the route change. The Monona lift, May, June, July, we're up 69, 68, down 112, which is right where July is. We have one less day than last year in July. So we're up 575 for the year. With that, kind of going into the next section, this is going to affect a little bit. First student does have a new driver, and she is driving currently right now. They currently don't have the routes running yet for all of them yet because the bus driver before needed vacation. So once he comes back from vacation, I believe it's the week after, we'll be back at the regular routes. So that will be happening here any day now.
How long have our routes been interrupted, Mark? Do you recollect when they first lost their driver?
I believe it was April, early April.
Of 2022?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so it's only been 4 months. It seems like years.
It does seem like a long time.
But I think that might be the explanation for the sudden drop off in ridership in May, June, and July. I mean, we have ridership on Express, which to me, I was looking at that thinking it was summer vacation and was very confused. But thank you, Doug, because I think that drop is probably, at least now that I know that's the timing of it, I think that's probably due to having the amount of service we were providing. Hence having the number of riders we have.
Right, that's exactly what's going on. So, I mean, you can see once they changed, especially when the morning lift went away, that made a big difference in the numbers too. So they'll be coming back here. Like I said, not this week, the next week. So they think they might have another backup driver coming. So hopefully we'll be back to full strength here fairly soon. That's kind of all I have on that. The ridership and the first student update.
Okay. And I'm sorry, but next on the agenda?
This is kind of a short meeting, but I just kind of want to give an update. It's Madison Metro. I did talk to Diane in Madison Metro. We're going to do for public hearing dates. September 8th, 10 o'clock at the Senior Center. We'll be getting something out on that. We'll be sending something out at the end of the week. And then 14th and the 21st of September. So our next meeting will be a public hearing. We'll be at the community center. So the 14th and the 21st, we just need one of the, I think Nancy, you're going to be gone.
Yes, I am.
So we'll be talking to Patrick, make sure he'll be available that day to be there. So Madison Metro will be at all three of them to answer any questions. So we will have that ready to go.
Mark, I'm sorry, I missed it. So 9/8 at 10 a.m. at the Senior Center.
Yeah,
9:14, what time at the community center?
looking at 6, does that seem 6 on the 14th and the 21st?
Is the 21st also at the community center?
Yes.
Do you, I don't know if you can hear me, do you have any sort of like flyer or announcement that we can circulate?
Yeah, so I've been working with Leah. We're gonna be sending something out here. I'll send it to everybody at the end of the week. We'll have something to get sent out. Unfortunately, Leah's been just swamped. We've been working together. Everybody's been on vacation or sick or something, so in the election, so I've been answering the phones, Leah's been answering the phones. We haven't had much to do our own jobs lately, so we're kind of a little behind on that. We will be sending something out here. You'll get it on Friday to take a look at. We're gonna send it out. We put in the newsletter and send it out, blasting it out, get something sent out to the community. That's kind of all I have on the updates. I don't know if anybody has any other questions or concerns.
So I know at the last meeting, we talked, Doug, about besides having Madison Metro there, we talked about the agenda, assuming that, by the way, Jillian, congratulations on your new
Yes.
baby. I'm remiss in
Thank
not
you.
saying it right away. Congratulations.
If I drop off, it's because there's a hungry baby.
Yeah. At the last meeting, we talked about the agenda and our role, and one of the things that you were going to talk to Madison Metro about it was knowing that they've probably done numerous open houses or public hearings or before, as you know, whether we need visual aids posters and who's responsible for that, and
Yeah, so I did talk
do
to,
they do a PowerPoint, or do they
Yeah.
expect us to get up and talk about what we see, you know? So can you give us a,
yeah, so I've been working with Madison Metro, and then we're gonna do a combination. We're gonna have a poster with some stuff from the maps, and then we're gonna do a PowerPoint presentation. Both myself and Madison Metro will they'll kind of lead it, and then kind of fill in some of the blanks that Madison Metro can't answer. But
okay,
they'll do the presentation. And for the ones at the Monona Senior Center, they'll have their lift people, not their lift people, their paratransit people will be available, and they'll kind of be there as part of the presentation also.
okay.
So we're kind of working with them, and they have a presentation that they have a standard one they do with the different communities.
Okay, so you're not expecting any of us to say anything or present anything?
I don't think you have to present. If you want to, we can all talk and let, everybody's gonna have be available to answer any questions too. If they ask questions, if the commission wants to chime in, we're all welcome to do that.
What about if we wanted to, it's a public hearing, right?
Yeah,
So we could register and just make public comments from our points of view as commissioners.
Right.
If we wanted something from ourselves as citizens on the record,
right, you could do both.
but we could also be there as resources or,
Correct, and part of just to listen what the commission or the
hear, yeah,
feedback and help
get direction for our own decision making.
Correct. It's mainly just gathering what they're saying and gets feedback from them. See if everybody's minds change or where we're gonna go.
So is it seems to me that Addie's work would certainly be something that could be on the PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Or should be on the PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Or even some handouts. I think some people will want to take something home,
Right,
hard copy.
Sorry, I was hoping to, kind of print that table and then on the backside have like the current map and the proposed map.
Yeah, that's what I'm working with Leah on that. That's one of the plans we're looking for that. Because we need, one, we want a big map, and then two, like you're saying, the pros and, not the pros and cons, but comparable to each of them, what we just did, what you did, so. That we want everybody to be pros and, or, you know, the difference between the two.
And then the other thing, Mark, we had talked about is actually going along the route with road signs and kind of dropping them, putting them in the ground, saying,
Agreed.
we're considering bringing the bus through here. What do you think? Join the hearings and give us feedback. Is there's, you know, initiative, interest, budget? Is that something, you know, I, as a citizen with a friend who can print that stuff for cheap and does for me for cheap, like just do?
So you mean like, do a map and put the signs on there, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think
Mhm.
the big thing is like that there's awareness in the community along the bus route saying, hey, we're thinking about bringing
Mhm.
Monday, you know, a full-time bus route through right here.
So you're thinking like adding, like yard signs that might say,
Yeah.
you know, public hearing or open house, these dates, you know, proposed transit route or something, so, because you can't have everyone be different sign, right? So it would be advertising the public hearings and they would be placed along the route.
Yep.
I think that's a terrific idea.
Yeah, I would be happy to talk, you know, try and help with getting those designed and getting them print, because I really think that like the thing that's going to make a difference is when people are in our community and see like, hey, you could catch the bus right here.
Mhm.
And I think that'll kind of bring it home.
Sure, are you available like tomorrow, Friday, we could maybe talk and figure this out, that'd be,
Yeah, Friday would be great. I've got a grant going in tomorrow, so I'm kind of in the middle of like, granting fever, but yeah, Friday.
sure, I think it's probably a great idea to have that.
Oh, and I don't know if you guys had caught through the grapevine, but I just joined the nonprofit REAP food group here in Madison. So I'm their full-time grant writer for REAP.
Right,
Nice
congratulations.
switch for me. So I don't know if that makes any connections with people, but
That's awesome.
happy opportunity for me.
Yeah,
Good.
that's fantastic. Great group.
Yeah, they are.
No, I think that's great, great ideas, we get those worked out and get that out.
So as we talked about at the last meeting, you know, there's really kind of two, there's really it seems to me in terms of the discussion of this, there's really two things. One is sort of, you know, the difference between one opportunity and another. You know, in terms of the route, the price, all that. But then as we talked about at the last meeting and Doug did some writing on, you know, there's the whole issue of what a true mass transit does for our community from the standpoint of DEIB and encouraging and sustainability. And so I'm assuming that in our appearances, we could speak to either one. If the commission decided that they wanted to speak in an appearance section.
Well, I think we'd have a point, yeah, point where we'd have like, if any commissioner would want to talk, I think that's where we do it. I mean, if you want to step away and get off kind of front and do it as a citizen, you can, but I think as commission, that's how we do it as a group. But yeah, I definitely will talk about that. As one of the things I was gonna bring up, if anybody else bring that up, that was definitely something I want to talk about.
Okay. Any other questions, comments?
Yeah, the third piece with outreach and communication has to do with updating the website. Will that be updated with any handouts and plans with it? Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, so what we're doing, unfortunately, last meeting, we're gonna update the website, but like I said, we've had a lot of issues up front because elections and other people have been on vacation, so we haven't had a chance to touch on that, but that is our goal, is to put your stuff on there and some other stuff on there, updating the website with the maps. Because it's hard just to look at something without seeing the maps. So we're gonna be doing that, so. Sorry, my voice. So now we got everybody kind of back from vacation, election's done. So me and Leah are gonna sit down. Plan was tomorrow and tomorrow and Friday to get that all done and get ready to go, pop it out.
Addie, would you collaborate with me to punch up the comparison matrix?
To punch up, you said?
Punch up, yes. Punch
Yeah,
up
yeah.
is a screenwriting term. But I mean it in, I think that there's some language massaging and some, I have some information that you didn't have and vice versa. So I think that we could combine to one better document. It gets disseminated to the community. And
Yeah,
everyone else
that's
can take a look and
fantastic.
comment too. I just, you and I wrote some stuff, so.
Do you have an editable version?
Yeah,
I'll
I have
follow up with
actually,
you after the meeting to find a time.
do you have?
That's
like,
right.
So the ones that you gave us last time, I can send it to her, or do you have different changes?
I thought, yeah, that would be fine. I haven't changed it since then.
Okay, I have that, so I'll send it to you tomorrow morning.
It's a lot of the same stuff, but with a few other things that I looked up that we can put in there.
That's great. And then I would say, Mark, too, I know we have a deadline coming up on the city's e-news. And since the at least the first one, if not the second one, is gonna be before we have a September e-news. If you and Leah could, just, since you're working on the information to get to us virtually anyway, if that information could be dropped into the city's e-news, or if you want to send it to me, I can make sure it gets to the new editor from the media committee. Because to get these dates on people's calendars would be a good thing. And that's another avenue. And then I can also make sure that the mayor and Andy talk about it, or maybe would somebody like to do a PSA on WVMO from this commission?
I would do it.
You would do it? Doug, do you
Sure.
want to write it? You want to write it? too?
Oh.
I mean, I
I
can,
think Laura or Jillian probably want to do it.
okay, Laura or Jillian?
No, I said I would.
Okay,
When would this PSC need to go?
I'll talk to Will tomorrow. I don't know when they do their PSAs.
Doug, he's pretty flexible. If you were to
Yeah.
say, if you were to write him and say, hey, I want to do a PSA or two about the upcoming public hearings, he would tell you when he's available to tape, and it could be totally at your convenience.
All right, so I'm gonna put on my calendar tomorrow to reach out to Will and to reach out to Addie. So I don't forget, because it'll be very easy for me to forget to do any of this stuff.
Right. And then I'll talk to the mayor about making sure that it goes on the Monona lowdown as well, that she does with Andrew on WVMO.
We have like unfettered access to the Herald Independent website.
Yeah.
We make a press release to them. I see Mark's picture on there right now talking about our budget shortfall.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could probably get a hold of them.
That would be a good way to get this out there. That would be
Yeah.
hot news.
Very hot news. So Mark, again, if once you and Leah put together the flyer, I'd be happy to or I could write a press release, or we could just reach out to the Herald and somebody should reach out, because the kinds of information that we have in the flyer that we're putting together and the route maps and all of that, once that's together and finalized, that would be a terrific thing to give to the Herald, because I'm sure they would probably print the difference in the route maps.
Mhm.
They're always looking for content.
Yeah.
So when you guys, Doug and Addie, when you finalize the flyer, why don't you zip it over this way and to me and to Mark, and then we'll make sure to reach out to the Herald.
Sounds good.
One thing I could do, I see that I'm gonna be able to make it all to all three of the hearings, is kind of take some informal notes for us, how many people are there and what's said and that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Definitely.
It'd be great.
Yeah, and we should find out, Mark, was it your intention to have a virtual option, do a hybrid?
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's our intentions. Let's see how we can work that, make that work. So. Maybe I'll talk to, maybe I have to switch it to the library. That might be easier. Because that way you can do it a lot easier hybrid.
Right.
Yeah, I'll talk to Ryan and make sure, see if he can get it around. That might be, that's probably the easiest way.
I mean, even if we did the ones in the evenings, I mean, obviously doing the one at the senior center is a little bit different because, you know, because we need to do it on their schedule and in the middle of the day, et cetera, and they're used to gathering there. But I would say the other two, if we can do a hybrid option, that probably would be a good thing.
Okay.
Any other advertising that you guys can think of that we've missed? If we're doing WVMO, I'm gonna get to the mayor, I'll get to the Herald after we get the info, the e-news. We're gonna do blast and you know, on our own social media, once we get there and get the word out, the social media, the city's website, yard signs, if we can pull that off. And then the flyer, which would be available that night as well. Any other kind of promotion?
Can't
We have a couple of kind of transit related partners in the community. I'm thinking like Monona in Motion and the Monona Cyclists group that goes out of next to Crema. I'm blanking. But yeah, I think there's a couple like local transit groups that I'll just send an email and just let them know.
Great. Thanks, Addie. Okay. Anything else?
No. Just a motion to adjourn.
Okay, yeah, since it's about 6:30 and I see Jeff Hines sitting behind you patiently waiting for his meeting. Hi, Jeff. I have, all right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second,
I have a second. Jillian, before we adjourn, is the baby awake for seeing on Zoom or?
She is, but she's feeding, so
Okay,
she's,
all right.
it's not safe for
Probably not a
work.
good idea. All right. All
I'll
those in
send a
favor?
picture by email.
Okay,
Brave.
great. Again, congratulations. All those in favor say aye.
Uh,
I
We are adjourned. Thank you all. Appreciate a quick meeting. It's good stuff.
Good to see you guys. Hopefully we can meet in person someday. Well, at these public hearings.
Yeah,
Yeah, this will be cool.
yep.
Yeah. Hope to see